Yes, Masters of the Universe has come out with a mini-comic called The Fall of Eternia starts here. He-Man vs. Skeletor, their final battle. It was done by DC Comics. This is the 5th mini-comic to have come out with the Masters of the Universe Classics toy line. I already did a video review on the first 3 mini-comics to have come out that preceded this storyline. I'm putting a link down below for that video. Interesting note, those were produced by Dark Horse Comics instead of DC Comics. Following the conclusion of the second Ultimate Battleground, Skeletor, who emerged victorious somewhat over Hordak, merges with technology to form the New Adventures version of Skeletor. And even though Skeletor leaves Eternia, the universe is not at peace. The Galactic Protectors recruit both She-Ra and He-Man to go out into space to help fight Skeletor and the evil mutants. Fast forward several years, and that's when this issue starts up. Thank God we missed all of those stupid battles in space. I was never a huge fan of the New Adventures of He-Man. We do, however, have the New Adventures version of He-Man and the never-before-seen version of She-Ra. She-Ra was never in the New Adventures of He-Man, so we never really saw what she would have looked like had she been in that show. The years that have passed by from the previous issue to this issue have He-Man and She-Ra teaming up with Skeletor to take down the ever-powerful Horde Prime. Unfortunately, circumstances happen that transport both Skeletor and He-Man off of Horde World, leaving She-Ra to face off against Horde Prime on her own. That's a story for another day. He-Man and Skeletor are transported to Trala, where they start their fight all over again. However, this time they're fighting alongside some other characters who we've seen before in the Masters of the Universe magazine that was released back in the 1980s. It's kind of funny that these characters were all part of the design your own character for He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Skeletor once again attempts to take power, this time from a temple that looks very similar to Castle Grayskull. We get cool introductions to the laser light versions of He-Man and Skeletor. These versions were released in Europe, but we never actually got them here in the US. In fact, if you ever see them, they are worth a lot of money. We get one final battle, and in this battle, Skeletor is finally defeated. Or is he? This comic is a prologue into the next storyline that's going to be coming out from the mini-comics from the Masters of the Universe Classics toy line. There are major pros and cons to this mini-comic. Let's start with the pros. The artwork in this is great. Axel Jimenez is the guy who drew this, and every single panel, you can tell that he really put so much detail into it. The coloring is spot on, the background is great. The fact that the story includes all these miscellaneous characters, some of which you only know if you're a hardcore He-Man fan, that is also a good touch. It's also cool that they're staying together with their mini bios that have been shown on the back of a lot of the different figures and tying everything together. The cons. Unfortunately, it is only a mini-comic, so you really don't have a lot of detail as to what's happening in between panels. I almost feel as though Lady Slither herself should have her own independent issue just so we can see what her relationship is to King Hiss. Having all the miscellaneous characters is great, however, you don't actually see what's happening with these characters. Also, I would have loved to have seen the battle between She-Ra and Horde Prime. We get an idea of what her ultimate fate was, but it would have been great to have seen the battle. It had to have been epic. Another con is that some characters are being shoved down our throats, characters that were never in the original mythos, but were created specifically for the classics. A lot of fans aren't really happy with them. To name one is Sir Lancelot is in the background. Also Gorpo back here in the background, that's the nameless one. That was probably the worst figure that they decided to create for this toy line. But regardless of all the cons, the pros definitely outweigh this. I love the mini comics, and I wish that they would bring back a regular mini comic toy line. In order to have gotten this mini comic, you had to have been a part of the subscription for Matty Collector. It was released with the Gorpo figure, aka the nameless one. But that's it for now. Stay tuned for my next Masters of the Universe mini comic review, which is The Fall of Eternia, first of a 3-part saga, Homecoming. So, thank you guys for joining me. I'll join you in another comic book review very soon. Peace, love, namaste, and I'll see you guys later.